So in this video guys, we're once again back with an XRP price prediction and technical analysis, and yes guys, right now as we're speaking we are still falling here pretty fast towards lower levels. In today's video we will take a look at exactly what do we need to pay attention to today and in the immediate short term for XRP. We have recently been seeing some important development in the immediate short term, but as always guys, we will also take a look at the longer term perspective. What does this recent price movement mean for XRP here in the longer term? But guys, I do want to start this video off here by taking a look at the daily candle. We just recently had the daily candle close from yesterday, and as we can see we got yet another bearish candle. We do have around 3 pretty strong bearish candles now in a row, so we are definitely in a strong momentum move towards the downside, and this comes after, no surprisingly, let's switch the attention to the 4-hour time frame. This sort of drop has been accelerating a lot since we broke this support level right here. This is a support level we have been talking about in multiple XRP updates at around 0.679, around there. You may of course wonder, why is this one so important? Well, the reason for this, you can see this one did act as resistance for a short while here on August 3rd, but more importantly this one was a key support level. You can see support August 2nd, support coming in here August 1st, support, also support from all the way back here in July 14. So this is a classic example of previous support. When we break support, many times we flip that previous support to become resistance in the future, right? By the way guys, if you want to learn more about support and resistance, I will make sure to leave my link to my educational video about that up in the corner in the eye. Lately I have been working a lot on educational material, so I highly recommend you guys to check that one out. But what we also have to notice here, if you watched our previous XRP update, we talked about this potential channel, right? We have been seeing at least 1, 2, 3 bounces. But guys, unfortunately, we even broke that one just recently. You can see our last 4-hour candle, we just smashed through here. One thing we can notice about this 4-hour candle, however, is that as you can see, when we break support levels, what we want to see, or from a bear's perspective, what you want to see is that strong 4-hour candle close. And one could argue here that this one wasn't that strong. However, if we see this next 4-hour candle, this is what we call a confirmation candle. If we see this next candle confirming the breakout, that would definitely be a short-term warning sign here for XRP. And then you may of course wonder, you know, what is the next potential support after this? Well, the scary thing, we look a bit left here, the scary thing is that we don't really have anything looking left. We don't really have any support. It's possible that we can find some kind of support here at this blue area, you know, around 0.586. And the reason for this, we look a bit to the left here, this one is actually quite a stretch. It basically comes from the little touch we had right here. You can see we had one clear touch as resistance back here in March 29. So this one is a stretch for sure, but it is possible that we could see some buying pressure coming in here at around 0.586. But guys, if we don't bounce there, I would unfortunately not be surprised if XRP drops all the way down here to our next key support area on the daily. This is probably the most important support area on the whole XRP chart. You can see this gray area, which we do find in between around 0.536 to 0.559, around there. And if you have been following the XRP updates here on the channel, you know that we have been talking about this one so much. And the reason for this is that this one was previously not only resistance multiple times here, both in May and June, but you can also see resistance coming in right here in April. You saw resistance coming in March. Looking a bit more historically here, we can also see, you know, resistance coming in from all the way back here October 2022, September 2022. Looking even more left, we can also see, you know, support coming in from all the way back here in January. Looking way back, we can see that this was where we found the double bottom back here, you know, during summer 2021. So as you can see, this level have been respected so many times here by both the bulls and the bears, right? So that is why, you know, I will not be surprised if we once again, when we break this one, we flip that previous resistance to become support. If XRP even drops below that one, then it starts to look super bearish. And then this whole pump, if you remember the massive God candle we saw here on July 13, will probably be deleted in my opinion, because if we break this one, get that strong daily candle close below, then I do think XRP will drop all the way down here towards the next key support. which is actually all the way down, at least in my opinion, at 0.43 to 0.413 around there. So this one we definitely do want to hold. But now, guys, let's also take a look at the upside scenario. So far in this video, we have only been talking about the downside. So what does XRP need to do here in order to look more bullish once again? Well, one thing we can look out for, this one we mentioned earlier in the video, is that if XRP during this 4-hour candle, so this is very urgent, as I'm recording this, we do have around 3 hours and 30 minutes to go. But if this candle managed to close above this downward sloping support, that would, in my opinion, be you know, a sign of hope, at least here for the XRP. But to look more bullish once again, XRP, one important step that we need to do here is that we need to once again break this purple line. And this purple line is now acting as resistance, this one at 0.679. And this one we already talked about. This one acted as support, 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 support. We broke support. This one already acted as resistance one time. So I would not be surprised if we can see some selling pressure coming in at that level once again. And in order to break this one, what we're looking out for here is that we do want to see that strong 4-hour candle close above. By the way, guys, if you want to learn more about breakouts, you know, what makes a strong breakout, what makes a weak breakout, I highly recommend, guys, to watch my video about breakouts. I will also make sure to, of course, leave that one up in the corner in the eye. But let's say that XRP managed to break this resistance, get that strong 4-hour candle close above. What is the next target? Well, then in my opinion, the next stop for XRP is this pretty wide resistance area, which we do find pretty much in between 0.72 to 0.74 around there. You may of course wonder, why do we pay attention to this one? Well, to understand this, we look a bit to the left, and we can see that this is one of these levels. This one acted as resistance, resistance, resistance. Looking even more left, we can also say that this one acted as support. For example, support coming in right here. This beautiful hammer candle coming in back in July 23rd. We saw bounce coming in here July 17. We saw resistance here. So you can see multiple times, right? This one have been respected by both the bulls and the bears. So that is basically why we do have that one in mind. With that said, if the XRP bulls even manage to break this one, and once again, what we are looking out for here is that strong 4-hour candle close above. Well, guys, then we are starting to look much more optimistic once again, and I do think we can pump all the way up here towards my next target area. This one is this gray area, which we do find in between around 0.814 to 0.84 around there. The reason we're looking out for this one is pretty straightforward. Looking a bit to the left here, we can of course see that this was where we saw selling pressure coming in around July 19. We saw yet another touch as resistance right here as well, and this was also where we saw the selling pressure coming in here from July 13. If we zoom out here once again, take a look at the medium-term perspective, one of the most important resistance levels on the whole daily time frame, on the whole chart here on the daily, it is this one, which is pretty high up now. This one is all the way up at 0.91 to 1.02, and this level I do think is the next important step XRP needs to break here on the daily time frame in order to start explode here towards higher prices. Breaking this one would lead, in my opinion, could lead to at least an explosion up here towards 1.34 to 1.41 as the next target. And the reason this one is so important is for historical reasons. First of all, this was where we saw the reaction here on July 13, but historically you will also be able to see that this one acted as, resistance back in March 2022, resistance February, resistance December 2021, November 2021, support, support, support. You can see that this one have so many times, right, been acting both as support and resistance. So that is basically why we do have this one in mind. Last but not least, guys, let's take one step back here, take a look at the weekly time frame. So far we have a pretty significant bearish candle. You can see we're trading down around 10% for the week here. This pullback is starting to get pretty deep here. If we use our Fibonacci tool from the lowest point of the impulsive move up, let me actually use this one from the very lowest point before the impulsive move. You can see that this pullback is starting to get quite deep. We are here at the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement, and usually pullbacks end somewhere in this area. So somewhere in between 0.382 to 0.618. So if we want to see this next impulsive move to the upside, this is a very important place. We need to start pushing up very soon